Until now, we have discussed few of the data types such as strings, doubles, or booleans as well. But now it's time to discuss list. This is a very important topic because while building an application, we will be using this data type, I think, most of the time. Now, what is a list? A list is simply an ordered group of any data type. It is commonly known as arrays in other languages. If you are coming from PHP or anything or any other programming language, you might have heard the word arrays. So it simply means earlier when we were declaring any variable, it was holding one value. That is, suppose this villain was holding only Thanos. But what if we want a variable which will contain multiple information of the user? Suppose the name, contact number, age, everything in one variable. In that case, we will be using list. It is very convenient to store and access the data in that way. Now, each element in the list is defined by a unique number called the index. It's very simple. Suppose if you want to access a data from the variable, you just have to remember what index it is in. Obviously, to access anything, we must have some ID. Here, the ID is the index and it starts from 0. Let's start programming. I guess theory you have understood. I will remove the previous thing. To declare a list, we have to mention the data type at first, list. Then simply I will just write marks and these square brackets. So we have successfully declared a list. And you can just see earlier in the above, there were string, boolean, or integer as well. But this time it's a new data type list. And when I was saying about the index positions, what I mean was, suppose in the list of marks there are multiple values like this. Okay, there are 4 values in this variable. And now this 90 is in the 0 position, 80 is in the 1 position, 60 is in the 2, and 30 is in the 3. So this is the index. Simply you can just say, suppose if I want to access this 90, I simply have to write print marks and the index position 0. Now let's run the program. See, 90. You have this value. Now suppose if you want 30, what index you have to write? It will be 3. Then, yeah, then it's 30 is printed. Now, the thing is, suppose we have an empty list of age. Okay. And we want to assign a value into it, new value. That is, it might be, it is empty, but later on we want to assign. In that case, you cannot just directly write age in the 0 position, give 30. This will show an error when we are printing age list. Let's see, try it out. See, uncaught error. range error, which means this is not the correct way to assign the value. But if you want to change the value which is already being assigned, that is in the marks, in the zero position, you want to write 10 and then print marks list. Let's see what happens. See, 90 has changed to 10, which simply implies you can change the already existing value with this method, but you cannot assign. Now, you might ask me, then how we will assign a value? Because marks is already pre-written, but when we are building an application, all those data will be in the real time. In that case, I just have to write age dot and then add. This is a function. This is the, you can say, operations which a list accepts. Age dot add 25 and then I will print out age. See, 25 is there and now it's not showing any error because this is the correct way of adding a value inside the list. Again, if I write age dot add 30 and print it, then it will be 25 and 30. See, so it's a very easy concept and very important because list is the only way when we are fetching a lot of, suppose in an application like Facebook, there will be a lot of users. So all that users might be stored in a list. If you see the slide, I have written that the index starts from 0 and extends up to n minus 1, where n is the total number of elements in the list. What I mean by that is the index here, it starts from 0 and ends at 3, which is the total number of elements in the list minus 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minus 1, 3. Since it starts with 0, the ending will be always the total number of elements minus 1. It's a very important concept of any programming language. Now, we have done this portion where we cannot assign value to an empty list. We have also done this portion as well where already assigned value can be changed like this. Now, there are few operations which can be done in any list. That add portion is done. Now, if you want to remove any element, then it's very easy. It's like list name, which is marks dot remove, and what data you want to remove. I want to remove, suppose, 25, and then I will print age. It should only display 30. I guess I did a small mistake. It's like when we are removing, we might have to use remove add so that we assign the index. Suppose here I want to remove 0. Okay. So I was removing from the marks and printing age. Why it will show. In the remove, let's do it again. In marks, I want to remove 90 and then print marks here. Let's check out the this output. See, 90 is gone. So in this way, we can remove the element if we know the value of the element. But suppose we don't know the value and we just know the index, that is marks dot remove at, and here I will give index as suppose 1 and comment the before remove line. Now the 80 will be removed. See, 10, 60, 30, but 80 is not there. So remove and remove at are two operations which are very important, because definitely when we have inserted any value, if the user wants to delete it, he should have that capability or that feature, you can say. Now the final thing is the length of the list. That is, if we want to get the length, we just write print marks dot length, and I will just stop removing elements. And now let's say I think it will show 4, which I was discussing earlier. That is, this is the n value, and the final element always is the length minus 1. And if you want to print something like this with concatenation, you can do like this: the length of the list is, then dollar. And just remember from the last session, if we want to do any operation, then we have to do dollar and then curly braces, and then write marks dot length. I will run it again and see, the length of the list is 4. So I just want to give a recap of concatenation because I don't want you to forget the previous concepts as well. So, okay, that's all for this video. We will meet again in the next video. Thank you.